Friday night NPL football brings us to Rockdale, where we get a matchup between some future stars and current stars of the New South Wales NPL. It's Sydney FC against Sydney United. I hope you're all getting some time off over this Anzac Day long weekend, and even if you're not, for the next 2 hours, sit back and enjoy. Whack this one up on a TV if you can. It should be a good one. The weather's a little bit chilly. We haven't had a drop of rain, and we are in for an absolute treat. Sydney FC make one change from that heartbreaking loss last weekend to the Wollongong Wolves. No Mitch Glasson, which is a huge blow, so Tyler Williams comes into the team for their manager, Jim Van Wieren. For Sydney United, any NPL fans or Sydney United fans that were worried, and rightfully so after their 6-0 loss to Sydney Olympic earlier in the season. Since then, they've only lost once, and they rattled off back-to-back wins over Apia 5-1, and last weekend completing a comeback against Marconi. Their manager, Zelko Kalets, makes 2 changes. One of them is a big one. No Matty Hatch, who has been one of the players of the season, bombing down the left-hand side. And Stephen DeRogalard drops to the bench as well. It's going to be both teams in their traditional home kits. Sydney FC in Sky Blue will get us underway, running from right to left. Sydney United in their iconic red and white. Our referees, Kurt Ames. Ball is in the centre, and we are ready to go. It's Friday night, Anzac Day weekend here in Sydney. And Sydney FC looking to create a bit of daylight between them and the relegation zone, and they get us underway. And they go long straight away. Now it's fallen to their equal top goal scorer, Shunta Nakamura, who's dispossessed quickly. A little bit of a tussle going on in midfield. Sydney FC, as you'd imagine, is in coma with the interception, full of energy. Some of these boys not even legally allowed to drink in Australia. Coming up against Sydney United, one of the veteran teams here in New South Wales. You've seen what they can do, current Waratah Cup champions. We've seen them. They are the definition of the magic of the cup as well. They're looking now to stamp their authority in the league. And tell me, when you think of big moments, you think of Patrick and tell me. This team's going to be on the back foot, though, it looks like. Ball's allowed to trickle along. As I was saying before, Sydney FC looking to create some daylight between them and the relegation zone. They came into this in 14th position on equal points with the Sutherland Sharks, who are sitting in that precarious promotion relegation playoff spot. Reminder, if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, 16th, rock bottom, gets automatically relegated, and second last will play second. New South Wales NPL League 1. It's Bailey Rule in those beautiful fluorescent green boots. He wants the 1-2. Return pass just a little bit too heavy. Sydney United in great form, as I said before. They started the season by their high standards terribly, to put it bluntly. 6-0 loss to Sydney Olympic, but then after that, as I said, only one loss. That was to Rockdale. Very, very impressive 5-1 demolition of the defending champions Apia. That put the league on notice that Zelko Kalets is making his mark. He was one of Sydney United's favourite sons as a player, but now he's here to make his mark as a manager as well. United look to go long. Just a little bit. Some combo there. Going shoulder to shoulder with Adam Milicevic, who was one of the goal scorers last week. And sharp football, even under pressure. That's what you get from these academy teams. They will play football no matter what, sometimes to their detriment as well. You get the classic rookies and the vet matchup here, though, at Rockdale, the temporary home of Sydney FC. Actually housing 3 New South Wales NPL teams. Rockdale, of course, St George FC, and the home team for tonight, the Sky Blues of Sydney FC. Nice touch there as Sydney FC looked to break, and there's a little bit of space on the right-hand side if the pass could find him, but it couldn't initially. Callahan now on the ball. Sydney FC enjoying a nice little spell on the ball here. Team full of New South Wales NPL veterans. One of them is pressing there. Patrick Antomi has 5 goals. He's their joint top goal scorer. He's got 5 goals in the Australia Cup as well. And Como has been lively early, bursting. And Russell burst the pace out wide to Callahan, who whips the ball into the back post. It goes over everybody's head. It's still at the back post though for Sydney FC. Nice little turn. It's gone out for a goal kick. Shouts of a foul there, waved away by our referee, Kurt Ames. As I said before, 2 changes for Sydney United. Tariq Myers, one of them who comes into the team, but no Matty Hatch, who had been terrorising the NPL down the left-hand side. That is a big loss for Zelko Kalitz's team. They look to go long now to Milicevic. Away, and Nkomo's been busy in the early minutes of this game. Sydney FC looking for win number 3 of the season. Both these teams have suffered heavy defeats. Sydney United's well publicised. Sydney FC are on the receiving end of an 8-0 loss. That one you can have a little bit more sympathy for. Sydney FC were missing players due to an under-19s Champions Cup, and it's Milicevic who nearly got on the end of that ball. Little warning shot fired there by the away side as the Sky Blues look to counter quickly through Nkomo. Callahan was making that run, and Shunta Nakamura who cut it off, showing off the defensive side of his game. He's got 5 goals this season, the ex-Mount Druitt man. And the other man who had 5 goals there nearly dispossessed Sydney FC, and now they break Sydney United. They've got Shunta Nakamura up to the right. They decide to go to their left. The ball couldn't get past the first defender as Sydney FC now break. This Sydney FC Academy team has been a platform to the first team for a lot of Sky Blue players. One's currently playing now, Jaden Kucharski, Jake Gerwood-Reich, who started here in the NPL before becoming regulars, and that's just to name a few. Zachary De Jesus as well as played a handful of games for the A-League men's team. Mitch Glasson. Wataru Kamijo was an unused sub in a game against Brisbane Roar in October. So the academy teams, which is what makes them so unique, is that their job first and foremost is to service the A-League men's team, as opposed to someone like Sydney United who are just solely about winning. You speak to any manager or person associated with these academy teams, though, they say servicing the A-League men's team is our priority first and foremost. And what a goal! Shunta Nakamura with goal number 6 of the season. And that could be the best of the lot. What a goal. Beautiful touch. He then let it bounce and whipped it past Adam Pavlicic. There was nothing he could do about that, and Sydney United take the lead. Goal number 6 of the season for Shunta Nakamura. Wowee, what a goal it was. And Sydney United, despite the positive start from Sydney FC, go bang. Just like that. And it's the ex-Mount Druitt man, Shunta Nakamura, who has the first goal. How does Sydney FC respond? I was speaking about Matty Hatch, but Nakamura has been another great signing from Sydney United. Maybe on the back foot, though. The Sydney FC look to respond. Can they get a ball in? Not the Most confidence first clearance, that's better. Just gets that one high and away. There, Adrian Vastelitsa, who played a few games for Sydney FC. Now one of Sydney United's favourite sons is back. What a goal. If you're just joining us now, good thing YouTube's got the ability to scrub forward and backwards, because I recommend you take a quick look at that goal from Shunta Nakamura, who now becomes Sydney United's top goal scorer in the league with 6. He pulls clear of Patrick Antelmi, but Antelmi does also have 5 goals in the Australia Cup. Here is Nakamura, lovely turn. Lovely little turn there. He rode the challenge of Kamijo and he gets his team a free kick, which they decide to play short. Aiden Milicevic. Nice feet there, plays Antelmi back. For Nakamura, it's Tomilic. Sydney United happy to control possession here and look to build on their 1-0 lead, and not only that, strengthen their position in the top 6, because of course finals are back in 2024 in New South Wales. So Callets would be happy with what he's seen so far, and the response from his team in the last couple of months looks to have continued. Long ball looking for Bailey Rule, who got a little bit of a touch on that, and a little bit of head volleying going on at the moment. And finally the ball is brought down, and it feels like we've got a little burst of light as well. The field just got brighter, which is a dream for me, the commentator, because it can get dark here, but maybe it was Shunta Nakamura's goal that just kicked the generator into gear, because it was a thunderbolt from Sydney United's number 8, the ex-Mount Druitt man. His goal is the difference right now. And if you were a Sydney United fan and you're worried, no Matty Hatch, do they lose a bit of that X factor? Well, Shunta Nakamura showed why. He's one of the signings of the season, and I have a feeling he's going to be a regular in our team of the week. Those fullbacks in fluorescent green boots here, which I love to see. Sydney FC look to break now. Down that right-hand side, where they've caught Sydney United out. They whip it into the back post, and Callats strong and assured there. They caught Jordan Ivancic, the left back upfield, and looked to punish, but they couldn't. It's Nakamura who's pulling the strings at the moment, the goal scorer, but happy to just take the fizz off it then and control the ball. Maya in a little pocket of space. He rules in even more of it out on that right-hand side. Jan Ivancic standing out in those beautiful green boots. Back in the centre for Tomilic. Shunta Nakamura's goal is the difference so far, as Sydney United look to make it 3 wins on the trot. They knocked off both Italo-Australian teams. Last week's win against Marconi was a beautiful comeback, down 2-0. Looked like it was going to be a long afternoon at the King Tom. Sydney United, like we've seen them do so many times before, turned it around. And they're in control of this one here at Rockdale. McGing looks to go long, the ex-Marconi man, but just a little bit too much on that one, and especially on synthetic grass. Once the ball gets a little bit of pace, see you later. Nothing Adam Pavlicic could do about the first goal. His team trails by 1-0. No Mitch Glasson today. I'm going to say presumably because he's on A-League men's duties. He's been a regular contributor off the bench, as have quite a few of these players, Zachary De Jesus as well. Jimmy Van Wieren's team have a mountain to climb so far. They're down 1-0. Sydney FC do welcome back their top goal scorer, Thiago Quintal, who, this week, I believe, signed a professional contract as well. So congratulations to Thiago. Sydney FC's number 10. I'm sure will be a regular, not only in this competition, but on our screens in the A-League Men's. And his team have a free kick here now. A chance for Sydney FC to get back into the game. It's going to be Kamijo and Nkomo standing over it. Plenty of tall timber in that box, and a chance here from the set piece for Sydney FC to get back in the game. It's going to be Nkomo's left foot. Sent away. Tyler Williams. The one change today by Jimmy Van Wieren. His little switch, good strength by Nkomo there, and lovely vision as well with the pass, and Sydney FC in almost identical fashion get a free kick about 5 metres next to where they just got one about a minute ago. Kick there by Marin France, and we've seen Richard Nkomo very busy. I don't even think he's 18, but plenty of pace and strength as well from the youngster. A good start from Sydney FC's left back. It's going to be Marin France to whip it in with his right foot. It's a low cross. And sent away back to France. Going up against Shunta Nakamura, plays it back to Nkomo, who uses his goalkeeper. Back-to-back set pieces, not troubling Sydney United. And it's lovely press from Shunta Nakamura, who nearly picked Sydney FC's pocket there. Lovely ball and turn of pace as well. Here's a chance for Sydney FC. They play it out wide to France. Cuts back in on his right foot. He goes for the low shot, but nothing. That could test Oliver Kalatz. An easy routine save for Sydney United's number 1. He plays it short. Nice end-to-end start to this game so far, and Sydney FC just slowly working their way back into the game. Still playing positive football no matter what, which is what you get from all these academy teams. Of course, their red and black rivals, Western Sydney, are our runaway leaders and have been the best show on AstroTurf so far in season 2024. Let's see what their sky blue rivals can do as they look to go long for France. Rule's header falls back to France, and he can't keep his shot down, and Marin France with a couple chances. Sydney FC's first couple shots of the game, but nothing to test Oliver Kalatz so far. And I tell you what, our camera angle doesn't do it justice, but good little turnout to this game as well as Milicevic. Lots of Sydney United fans here, and they'd be happy with what they see. Aiden Milicevic. And it was Pavlicic who tips it over the bar. Sydney United, who've been defending for a good 5 minutes at least, nearly got one against their own of play, just like they did with the first goal. They are going to have a corner. And it looks like that corner is going to be taken by Milicevic, who won the corner with his strong effort that was tipped over the bar by Pavlicic. It's more crowded than the Coogee Pavilion on a Saturday night there in the penalty box. Pavlicic has got his hands full with this Milicevic corner, which is sent in over the back post and over everyone's head for a goal kick. She plays short, which has been a theme in this first half for Nkomo. To Nakamura getting back there. Nice turn there from Scarcella. Plays his fullback Tyler Williams. It's been a decent start from Sydney FC despite going a goal down. An absolute thunderbolt from Shunta Nakamura. Absolutely nothing they could do about that. And a couple set pieces which Van Wieren would have wanted a lot more from. And able to get over the first defender and then the man on the ball here, Marin France. A couple of chances to show off his right foot. One, an easy low save for Oliver Kalatz, and then another one over the bar. Nice switch once again from Scarcella. Sydney FC look for a way back into this game. They try and whip in the cross, but it falls back to them now. Camijo tries to get around the defender, but he can't, and that's just the experience of Sydney United being shown there, and they see it out for a goal kick. Oliver Kalatz gets us back underway. And if you're just joining us now, Shunta Nakamura, Thunderbolt is the difference so far. Sydney United look for their third win on the trot, and they lead by 1 goal. 2-0. Sydney FC's only 2 wins of the season came against another academy, Central Coast Mariners and Manly. Both of them have happened here at Rockdale. As Milicevic wins another corner. Which he's going to wander over and take as well. A little bit less crowding around Pavlisic's 6-yard box this time. This is the Coogee Pavilion, maybe on a Tuesday night. Shunta Nakamura wants it short, and he gets it. Milicevic gets it back. And Sydney United may have won a free kick on the edge of the box. Yes, they have. A bit of frustration starting to creep in, and Kurt Ebbs, who haven't seen him at all, really in this first half, gets the hairspray out, and Sydney United with a chance to double their lead. It's Milicevic and Tarek Meyer standing over it. Looks like it's going to be Tarek Meyer. Into this team, one of 2 changes from Zelko Kalatz. What can he do from the set piece? A bit of mayhem going on there. Kurt Ems now is playing the role of security guard at the Coogee Pavilion. He gets it under control. It's going to be Tarek Meyer to whip it into the back post. Headed away, but not convincingly. And Sydney FC do finally get the ball away. And now they have the chance to break, and Como's bursted forward. Chance for him to show off the pace. De Oliveira was getting back there, and so was Bailey Rule, who did enough to take the sting off that cross. We've seen plenty of that from Richard Nkomo. He's a little bit frustrated with himself, but positive start from Sydney FC's number 5. Tell you what, 20 minutes has absolutely flown by here at Rockdale. It's the away team, Sydney United, who lead by 1 goal to 0. Nkomo with the header. Falls to Bailey Rule. Callahan on the ball now. Nice ball. We've got fluoro green boots against fluoro green boots. And it's the fluoro green of Bailey Rule. Does enough there against Jacob Rosette. Rosette was wandering from the right-hand side. He's been very busy, as has men on the ball. It's a good battle, Patrick Antomi and Richard Nkomo. Here's Rosette once again. Back to Nkomo. Heartbreaking defeat, going down next to an 89th minute goal against Wollongong after they did so well to bring the game back to 2-2, being down 2-0. And since that 8-0 defeat to Blacktown, they have been much better. And a 0-0 draw against Sutherland the week before. They were trending in the right direction leading into this game, and despite being a goal down, still playing positive football. Lovely touch by Marin France. Scarcella. Patient build-up here for Sydney FC, but Sydney United happy to sit back and defend. A little bit of nervy stuff there on the edge of the box, and then they do send it away. Ball goes out for a throw where there's a nice little quadrant of Sydney United fans who've made the trip from Adenza Park. I'll tell you what, I don't think the camera does it justice. They must be undercover getting something to eat, because when I got here, I had to park about 1 kilometre away. Car park was full, and I could smell the barbecue sizzling from my car. Good turnout here. Some Friday night NPL football. Bailey Rule now with a little bit of space. Takes on Nkomo, and Nkomo sticks out a foot that goes out for a corner. Sydney FC enjoying the majority of the ball, but Sydney United, as you'd expect from a veteran team like Sydney United 58, just disciplined, patient in defence, waiting for their moment, like they did with that first goal and like they nearly did with Adam Milisevic's shot 10 minutes ago that was tipped over the bar. It is going to be Adam Milisevic to take the corner. Milisevic. Oh, and it was a nice run there, and Sydney FC did just enough to send it away, but it's Bailey Rule once again. Plays Milisevic. He gets a second chance of that one. He's sent away by Sydney FC, and United looking to get it straight back in there, and they're urged to do so by their manager. All just happy to enjoy a little spell on the ball. Kalats. Nice ball there from Oliver Kalats. Vancic. Nice feet from the left back. He plays the goal scorer Shunta Nakamura, who has been pulling the strings in this first half. FC though, still playing positive football, looking good on the ball. Haven't created a clear-cut chance yet. Look dangerous down this left-hand side, and Como. France. Heavy pass though. The manager won't like that. Milisevic played a lovely ball to Patrick and tell me, but the angle was too acute, and Sydney FC were nearly punished for being a little bit sloppy on the ball. And they play quickly once again, which is what they've seen, which is what we've seen them do all first half, and they play it back out to Nkomo. That was a lovely ball from Milisevic. He threaded that one through the needle. Beautiful feet from France to get past Bailey Rule. Gets it back onto that right foot, but he just can't find a good cross, and now it gives United a chance to break. But just send that one straight to Tyler Williams, and end to end like a game of ping pong at the moment, which is great for all of you watching at home on the New South Wales NPL YouTube channel. Every game live and free. Como. Ben's making the overlapping run. Flag stays down. Whips it in, but there was no one at the edge of the box. Sent back to Nkomo, who I'd love to see his heat map at halftime, because he's been super busy. Just that killer ball at the moment, letting Sydney FC down. They've had a couple chances down that left-hand side, but either the cross or the shot just hasn't been good enough to test Oliver Kalats yet. But the warning signs are there. And a bit of gamesmanship there from Milisevic, who's been warned. Kurt Ams isn't going to be standing for any of that. Middleton. Looking to thread the needle in between two Sydney United players, but he couldn't. Now it's Nakamura riding the challenge of Nkomo, who got a little bit too grabby there and gave away the free kick. Kurt Ams just making sure they don't whack any GST on the end of that one. Bailey Rule. Lovely run by Tariq Meyer, but the pass just had a little bit too much on it. Sydney FC half asleep just for a second there, but Zelko Kalitz said, which I don't know if you picked it up, a blade of grass was the difference there. Callahan going up against Vastelitsa. That is a rookie and vet matchup if ever I've seen one. Middleton. Como linking up with France. As where Sydney FC's looked likely so far down this left-hand side. So far the score remains 1-0 to the visitors. Scarcella. Oh, sloppy pass, but Antelmi couldn't get around the last defender. It now falls back to Shunta Nakamura, who cuts in, goes himself. And why wouldn't you when you're in that type of form? But he couldn't curl it into the back post. And Shunta Nakamura nearly, and by his high standards, probably feels like he should have had a double there. And Sydney United, like they've done all first half, nearly hit Sydney FC on the counter. Go long. Brave header there from France, because he had Bailey Rule in on goal if he didn't intervene there. Callahan does well to ride the challenge of two Sydney United players, and space out wide for France, who loves cutting in on that right foot, and this time he finds Scarcella. Rosette. Green boots on green boots there. Green boots of Rosette gets the better of Ivancic initially and whips a cross in, but headed away once again by Sydney United. They're looking to break now. Nakamura had a huge chance to make it 2-0. Unable to curl it into the back post. His goal remains the difference though. Sydney United came into this in 6th position, but to give you an idea of how tight it is in New South Wales, 2nd and 6th, and he's separated by 3 points. Nakamura. Can Sydney United hit back on the counter once again? Just a little bit too much on that pass. And Pavlicic goes quick, which he's done all first half as Sydney FC search for a way back into the game, just unable to create a clear-cut chance so far, but the football is there. This man's been an architect of most of it. Richard and Como linking up with France down that left-hand side, although Rosette's drifted out to the left now. And he's swapped. Middleton. Nice pressing by Shunta and Antelmi, but Sydney FC managed to play around the press. Scarcella looking for Brazette. He's got his left back if he wants to use him. He goes himself, Jacob Brazette. And he had Kalatz at full stretch there, and that's the closest Sydney FC have come to equalising here. That was lovely football from Jacob Brazette. Cut in on that right foot, and it looked from my angle like it was curling in. Kalatz at full stretch, but Brazette unable to curl it in to the back post. Sydney FC getting better and better as this game go on, but Sydney United have looked dangerous on the counter-attack. They're going to have to defend once again, though, and that shot was never going to test Oliver Kalatz. This is one of 2 games going on at the moment in a Friday night doubleheader. Manly and Spirit locking horns on this Friday night as well. And if you want to just want an idea of how tight it is at the bottom, I told you about how tight it was. 2-3-6, well, 11 to 15 separated by 1 point. So Mariners on the foot of the table on 4 points. 4 points above them are the Sharks and Sydney FC. Then on 9 points you have 3 teams kills Manly and Spirit. So drama at both ends of the table, and that's why promotion, relegation and finals mean this is the best season of New South Wales NPL football we're ever going to have. France switch sides with Brazete now. Doesn't have to cut in on his favoured right foot. Playing on the right-hand side. Both he and Brazete have looked dangerous, as has this man if the ball can find him. Milicevic put his head on that one and sent it out for a throw. It's going to be Nkomo. Scacella. Brazete, can he find the cross? And that has just been the story of the first half for Sydney FC. Positive football, but that final ball, that final cross or shot, it's just been off for Jimmy Van Weeren's team. But plenty of time for Sydney FC to salvage something. Como. Brazete. Fluoro green boots going against each other once again. Brazete floats it in. And it was frantic for half a second. The ball is still with Sydney FC. And Como. Sydney United standing strong so far. They play it out wide to Brazete. Plays it back for Nkomo. That was the first killer ball we've seen tonight that nearly unlocked this stubborn Sydney United defence. And tell me, pressing hard. Calm feet there from Williams. Still with Williams. There's space on this right-hand side for Sydney FC to get another cross in. And they do get a cross, but nothing that's going to challenge them. But that ball there, Oliver Callis didn't know too much about it just before, and Sydney FC nearly pounced, but United on the ball once again. Havlicic. Sydney FC enjoying majority of the ball. That's been the narrative for this first half. The youngsters playing good football. Just that killer edge missing so far, and Sydney United, the veterans, punishing them when they're given the opportunity, and they nearly went 2-0 up as well. Shunta Nakamura's goal, the difference so far. Sydney FC being more and more dangerous as this game goes on. They're not going to trouble them there, though. Or so left in this first half. It's been an entertaining one so far, and I don't like to make predictions, but I have a feeling there's more goals coming. Flag stays down. There could be one here. Milicevic. There's Shunta Nakamura. Milicevic has seen plenty of the ball so far. Sydney United get a free kick now, which they take quickly. Tomilic. Nice ball there, and a lovely use of the chest there. Sydney FC have to be careful. There were boots flying everywhere, and tell me he stayed on his feet. Sydney United just throwing a little warning shot out there once again. A win here for Sydney United would see them go to equal second. Long ball, and it does manage to find the sky blue jersey, but the flag goes up. That was a lovely ball. Just offside there, though. Bailey Callahan, who's been in everything so far, just mistimed his run slightly. Looking for Carlos de Oliveira, who by his high standards has been a little bit quiet. Most of the traffic's gone down the right-hand side for Sydney United so far. Of course, they're missing a big focal point in attack. No Matty Hatch. He and Carlos de Oliveira have been dynamite down the left for Sydney United in 2024, but they've done well so far, navigating the first 37, 38 minutes or so. They lead by 1-0. McGing. Is Vastelitsa. Looking to roll the defender there, but unable to was De Oliveira. Carlos De Oliveira, another great piece of business by Sydney United. Made the move over from Blacktown. 4 goals this season. His goal capped off the comeback. Milicevic pinches the ball off Nkomo, and then Nkomo with a tackle that you see down the road at Cogra for the St George Illawarra Dragons. Bringing down Milicevic. Doing what he had to do there, copying the yellow card in the process, and they go quickly. Rule, there's a bit of space. He was hit across. Shouts for a corner, but it is a goal kick. And they nearly stung Sydney FC down their right-hand side once again, Sydney United. Rule and Milicevic both looked very dangerous. Camijo pressed by Milicevic, who's doing it all at the moment, winning the ball. Looking dangerous with it at his feet as well. That is a battle to look out for now. Milicevic against Nkomo, who will be on a yellow card. And we've seen City FC very confident on the ball. Always playing short. They love having the ball at their feet, but it was nearly to their detriment there. As here is Brazzetta. He's another magician with the ball at his feet. Plays it for Scarcello. He's got a little bit of space. He's got his right back making the overlapping run. Who he finds? De Oliveira getting back there and defending. Sydney FC looking to go back to fullback. Score remains Sydney United 1, Sydney FC 0. Looking for the long ball, but the AstroTurf picked that one up and it took it out for a goal kick. Seen Adam Milicevic look very dangerous down this right-hand side. He's looking to keep his goal-scoring streak alive. He's scored in back-to-back games. It's a heavy challenge from Nkomo, who was just booked a couple minutes ago, and there's a ball in the air and a strong challenge on Bailey Rule, and now Nkomo's gone down as well. And let's hope that Bailey and Richard are both okay. Both have been very lively in this first half, and Nkomo just has to be careful. He is on a yellow card. Sydney FC cannot afford to go down to 10 men, particularly against the experience of Sydney United. Bailey looks like he's making his way back up, which is good to see, and it gives a couple of the Sydney United players a chance to get a quick drink. It's been a energetic first half, end to end. They've done a lot of defending, the Sydney United players as well, preserving this lead. Happy to sit back. So far, they've been preserving this 1-goal lead, looking dangerous on the counter as well. Plenty of firepower on that Sydney FC bench, though. The main one is their number 10, Thiago Quintal. Also their top goal scorer as well. Who? The score remains the same, I'm sure we'll be seeing. Baileyville looks to be okay. And Richard Nkomo as well. Be a free kick for Sydney United, so both players back to their feet. And the visitors to get us back underway. Adam Milicevic to take the free kick. This would be a killer blow for Sydney FC before half-time. Milicevic to take the free kick. He floats it to the back post and it beats everyone. It's still there at the back post, and Pavlicic had to put his body on the line there. Well won by Sydney United. And It's a little bit of a tussle out on that far side, but Sydney FC look to counter now. Callahan. And Como's asking for the ball and going shoulder to shoulder there with Milicevic. That's been a very good battle. Camijo. For the long ball for France, who's switched back now to the left-hand side. We've seen him play left, right, and now back on the left-hand side. And it's Bailey Rule who sees that one out for a goal kick. Sydney FC, lots of chopping and changing throughout the season, of course. Players getting called up to the A-League men's team, but especially from the 40 minutes you've seen so far, definitely too good to be relegated. These youngsters belong here in the New South Wales NPL, and it's launched the career of quite a few A-League men's regulars, players playing in there for Sydney FC at the moment. Jaden Kaczarski, Jake Gerwood-Reich, just to name a few, and plenty future A-League men's stars playing here today and across the New South Wales NPL for the various academy teams. But it is Sydney FC now going to play around the press of Sydney United. They go long though this time for Callahan, who's a youngster. It doesn't get much tougher than going up against two veterans of Liam McGing and Adrian Vastelitsa. Here is McGing, the ex-Marconi man, and Vastelitsa doesn't get much more experience than Skip, as he's known in Sydney United, and Rule looking to use his chest. Didn't get all of it. Here are Sydney FC, though. Playing positive football once again. So many other teams in that case would have just sent it long. They might get punished for it, though. Cross sent out for a corner. We're into stoppage time of the first half. Sydney United in no rush to take this corner. They lead by 1-0. Shunta Nakamura. His goal is the difference so far, and he's trotting over to Aiden Milicevic, wanting it short, like we've seen him do a couple times so far. Milicevic goes low to the edge of the box. Plays De Oliveira, who floats it into the back post. It was a nice little corner routine there. De Oliveira couldn't get clean contact on it, and we're yet to see Carlos De Oliveira at his best so far. He hasn't had too much of the ball. It's all come down his right-hand side, but he's got a whole second half to change that. France playing up against Rule. Middleton. Como wanting the ball. He's been lively down that left-hand side, but so far unable to test Oliver Callas. Here is France, who's also had a couple shots, cutting in on his right-hand side. Switches it for De Jesus, who now plays Brazete. Silky feet, and he shows off those silky feet once again. Can Sydney FC get across? Yes, they can. But headed away once again, and that's been the story of the first half for the Sky Blues. Brazete, unless they could change it right before half-time. Sydney United, rock solid and disciplined so far in this first half, and they will take a 1-goal lead into the break. Shunta Nakamura's thunderbolt is the difference, but Sydney FC are playing good football and looking very lively as well. We are set up for a box office second half. So if you're going to get something to eat, make sure it's 2-minute noodles. If you're going to get a coffee, make sure it's an espresso. If you're going to the bathroom, make sure it's a number one, because you don't want to miss a second of this second half. We'll see you soon. Players have made their way back out to the field as the fog and barbecue smoke descends onto Rockdale, and that is a beautiful combination. The canteen is sizzling, and this game is boiling like a kettle. It's getting hotter and hotter. Sydney FC went down, one behind after 8 minutes. Shunta Nakamura, who brought down a beautiful long ball and whipped it past Adam Pavlicic, I suppose. But Sydney FC have looked very dangerous. United going from right to left on your screen. And they are in control of what would be their third win in a row, and a win that would take them equal second with Rockdale. This is a huge game for Sydney FC as they look to create some separation between them and second last, which I've said a couple times, but of course is promotion relegation playoff. Sydney FC and Sutherland both 4 points clear of Mariners, who are rock bottom at the moment, but we're not even halfway through this 30-game season as Sydney FC going down that left-hand side. This man has been very busy. Richard Nkomo also picked up a yellow card for a rugby tackle after being dispossessed, and Adam Milicevic was going to skip past him. He brought him down. Something you'd see down the road at Cogra, I would say, for the Dragons, but they didn't do much tackling yesterday. Back to the football though, and it's Ivancic looking to thread the needle for Carlos de Oliveira, and de Oliveira having a quiet first half by his standards. No Matty Hatch tonight. Jordan Ivancic, the ex-MacArthur Bulls Academy product, filling in on the left-hand side, and it's going down his left-hand side. Brazete, who's showed off his silky feet on a couple of occasions, and also switched sides a number of times with Marin France. These Sydney FC youngsters can run all day, and here's one of them, Brazete. Brazete, nice feet once again, floats it into the back post. But just over the head of France as Milicevic looks to skip past 3 Sydney players, but he can't. And a shot ricocheted off a Sydney United player and out for a corner, which gets a round of applause from the Sydney FC bench. Good positive start to this second half by Sydney FC, who trailed by 1-0. Corner to be taken on that far left side. High into the sky and towards the corner of the post. Shouts a handball. Waved away by the referee. Tomlich was bursting forward. Meyer now flicks it through to Ivancic, who's urged the drive by his manager. And just that final touch. A couple times letting Ivancic down, and his manager just wanted him to take Camijo on there. De Oliveira. Ging and Vastelitz have been rock solid so far. Doesn't get much more experienced than these two. Vastelitz, of course, had a brief 4-game spell at Sydney FC, but now back home. And that looks like it's going to bounce over the head of Camijo. It was a strong challenge by Ivancic. I beg your pardon, it was Brazete who he went shoulder to shoulder with, and Ivancic is offside. Two fluoro green boots going shoulder to shoulder there, and just a little bit too rough, says our referee Kurt Ems, who hasn't had too much to do so far in this game. It's been a good, clean game, which has flown by as well. But at this stage, Sydney FC trailed by 1-0. Just as I say that, their whole bench gets up and ready to warm up. I'm sure we'll be seeing some changes very soon as de Oliveira can't get it past Scarcella, and he looks to switch, and heavy collision there between France and Bailey Rule. Waved on by our referee. De Jesus, another one of these Sydney FC players with A-League men's experience. Also represented Australia at under 17 level. Sure, a player we're going to be seeing on our TV screens for years to come. As is this man, Brazete, who's looked dangerous, and a bit of space for De Jesus, who can't get the cross past Ivancic. And it will trickle out for another Sydney FC corner. Good start from the home team. They look to claw their way back into this game and claw themselves off the bottom of the ladder. It's Wataru Kamijo to take it. Floats it to the back post and headed back across goal, and it's still there, and Ivancic then finally sent away to safety. But only as far as De Jesus, who floats a great ball back in. And it was Jared Middleton, the big defender, who was up there for the corner, and just a little bit of nervy stuff there from Sydney United. And Sydney FC have made a very positive start to this second half, which is what their manager would love to see. Callas gets us back underway, and he goes long, looking for Bailey Rule. It's usually left side, strong side for Sydney United, but him and Milicevic have been very good down that right-hand side so far, as has that man going up for the header, Shunta Nakamura. His goal is the difference so far. He had a huge chance to make it 2-0 and bring up his 7th goal of the season. Brazete wants the 1-2, but just can't get the ball back. And Sydney United, patient and rock solid, and De Oliveira gets his team a relieving free kick. Carlos De Oliveira, one of a host of new signings as Sydney United enter an exciting time in Australian football with the National Second Division around the corner. The ball over the top. It's Middleton who had to get back there and intercept. Otherwise, Bailey Rule was in on goal. Sydney United not resting on their 1-0 lead here, just working their way into the game. Sydney FC have enjoyed a majority of the ball, particularly in this second half as well. But here come Sydney United. Stalitza. He's capable of scoring a goal. I called a game where he scored a beautiful solo goal against Western Sydney, but that one was never testing Adam Pavlisic's goal, and he's had a bit to do. Adam Pavlicic tipped over an Adam Milicevic shot in the first half, and also was at full stretch to deny Shunta Nakamura a second. But it is Shunta Nakamura's goal. That is the difference so far. This one of 2 games going on. It was 2-1 at halftime between Manly and Spirit. Manly coming from a goal down, and when you're speaking of comebacks, there weren't too many better than Sydney United's last week against Marconi. That was absolute scenes. Sydney United fans going nuts when Adam Milicevic scored the winner. And they'd be happy with what they're seeing so far, but their team's going to have to defend now. Cross whipped in, and Callahan was there, and it was a strong header. And it had to be, because it was a beautiful ball. Danger not over yet for Sydney United. They played out wide. Brazete. And Ivancic. He's been solid defensively so far. Sends that one out for a throw. Switch it out wide now to France. He's been dangerous down both sides, but cutting in on his right foot. We've seen him create a couple chances so far. Now they switch it to the opposite wing. De Jesus skips past the challenge of Ivancic. Can he get in a good cross? He floats it to the back post. And Callahan was at full stretch, but unable to get clean contact. Wave after wave of Sydney FC attack at the moment. Back out to that right-hand side. Brazete, little step over. Great ball to the back post and headed away to Ivancic, who lets it run off his chest. There was a couple shouts of handball. No way, says our referee. This is great football and a great start from Sydney FC. Getting better and better as this game's got on, and they've clicked into another gear in the second half. The only thing missing is that killer ball and an equaliser. Looking for De Jesus and unable to there, and they look dangerous down the left-hand side in the first half, but this half, it's all about that right-hand side. Jesus and Brazete. Lovely touch by De Oliveira, who wins his team another free kick, which they take quickly. Can they bring it down? Yes, they can. Lovely touch. Scoops it over the top for Patrick Antelmi. It's still Antelmi! And he puts it over the bar. And that is a collector's item, a rare miss from the adopted Croatian, Paddy Antelmi. And Sydney United showing what they can do on the counter-attack once again, because Sydney FC have enjoyed a majority of the ball. They're playing good football. But just like they did for that first goal, one long ball nearly unlocked the Sky Blues backline once again. And Antelmi's first real chance of the game skied over Adam Pavlisic's goal, and it's Brazete. Loves a step over, but he's dispossessed by another man who also has silky feet, Carlos De Oliveira. Looking to play the ball for Rule, but Como's got plenty of pace. Of course, he has to be careful on a yellow card. They look to go long now for Callahan. Lovely touch and a little bit of space too. Flag stays down. It's France. Cuts back into that right foot and floats in across as well. And it's Vastelica. Header only as far as Camijo. And Como. A great start to this second half. That first half was like a slow roast, but this second half here is like the barbecues on the far side. They are steaming. Long ball looking for Nkobo. Looking to get another ball in, and that one goes over Kalitz's goal. And that nice little spell comes to an end as Sydney FC look to make a double change. It is going to be Tiago Quintal and Ayuk Mao coming on as they look to salvage something from this game. And who better to put on than their top goal scorer, Tiago Quintal, who has 4 goals this season, also signed his first professional contract. Double change for Sydney FC. Wataru Camijo and Jacob Brazete come off. Tiago Quintal and Ayuk Mao are on. As Jimmy Van Wieren tries to salvage something from this game. They're going to have to defend this though, and tell me. He'll be stewing about his missed opportunity, but Sydney United are going to get another chance here. It's going to be another Sydney FC player going into the book. It's Zachary De Jesus for that high boot, and a chance from the set piece for Sydney United to double their lead. And Carlos De Oliveira, after a quiet first half, is getting more and more involved the longer this game goes. Starting to cause some headaches down that left-hand side. It looks like it's going to be Tarek Meyer or Adam Milicevic to take this free kick. And I tell you what, if they were to score here, it'd be a cruel blow to Sydney FC. They've played very well in this second half particularly, but find themselves defending this set piece. It's Meyer. De Oliveira's just peeled off to the left. No one's marking him either. Meyer sticks the hand up and floats it to the back post. Sydney United player hits the deck and there's some appeals for a penalty, but Kurt Ams is having none of it. It was Liam McGinn that ventured forward, the centre-back. Win his team a penalty, but Kurt Ams waves it on, and Sydney FC playing short once again. Going long. And it's Vastelitsa who sends that one out for a throw. Bit of urgency now here from Sydney FC. Scarcella gets the ball. He's been involved in a majority of this game as well, but the story of this game so far for Sydney FC, unable to find that killer pass and that goal. And Nkomo hits the deck, and it gives Nakamura a chance to whip in the ball. I beg your pardon, it was Ada Milicevic actually on that right-hand side, and he's won his team a quarter. Which will be taken right in front. That little travelling section of Sydney United fans who are very vocal, as they always are. They'd be happy with what they're seeing so far. Their team rock solid in defence. A veteran's performance so far from Sydney United, who lead by 1-0. They have this corner as well, which is floated high to the back post, looking for Vastelitsa, and sent away. The boot was high, but the eyes were always on the ball, and he was committed to clearing that. I have no issues with that not being a free kick. And in that case, it would have been a penalty as well. De Oliveira. Maya. Fresh legs of Sydney FC. They've thrown on Thiago Quintal. Still only 17. Just signed his first professional contract. Big future coming up for Sydney FC's number 10. We've seen what he can do so far in the NPL this season with 4 goals, and Sydney FC are going to need something special from him once again. United go long, and it's where they've looked dangerous, and that ball was flicked on and nearly through for Ivancic. Maya was looking to take that one quickly, but Dr. Kalatz is telling him to slow it down a little bit. Let the fullback take it, and goes over the head of Entelmi. Shunta Nakamura, full of energy, running like it's minute number 1. Him and Entelmi have been running their heads off all game, and Shunta Nakamura be full of confidence with his performance so far. His goal is the difference. They go long looking for Entelmi. All he needs is one moment. He had a chance earlier, which I'm sure if a similar one falls to him, he won't be sending it over the bar like he did before. Especially because Shunta Nakamura has now pulled clear of him as Sydney United's top goal scorer in the league on 6. And here is Nakamura, plays it out wide to Rule. Lovely feet there by Rule. Can he find a cross? No. He can do the next best thing, which is win his team a corner. Turns a round of applause from those Sydney United fans and his manager, Bit Milicevic, to take it. Milicevic to take the corner on that far side. He's been fantastic today. Can he set up a second with this corner? It's a great delivery as well, and Vastelitsa jumped high. The ball's still there for Sydney FC, headed away. And now it's Callahan. Urged to drive. He's got no one up in support with him, so he holds the ball up. And finds the fresh legs of Mel. More than an hour gone here. Sydney FC trail by 1-0. This would be a huge result, a 3rd in a row for Sydney United. As they look to continue their climb up the ladder, they're going to have to defend this though. Ball floated in, it's a great ball. Just couldn't keep the header down. This time Sydney FC do find the killer ball. It's France once again, who's had a couple chances on his right foot. showing off his aerial ability there, but just unable to keep the header down. Quintal. Excited to see what Sydney FC's number 10 can do in the last 25 minutes or so of this second half. Here he is on the ball now. His second half is tailor-made for some magic from one of these future superstars from Sydney FC. Scarcella. Here is Nkomo, looked very lively down the left-hand side, but they seem to have switched sides in the second half. A lot of traffic going down the right. Here is Nkomo. Lovely ball and touch. And they find another ball. It's France, whose header flashed over the crossbar just before. They're dispossessed there, and Sydney United, like they have all game, rock solid in defence. And Patrick Antelmi, who hasn't had too much in the way of attacking chances so far, just holds the ball up. And Sydney United now, the veteran squad that they are, just happy to take the sting out of this game. Tariq Maya. One of two changes from Zelko Kalitz, who, without Matty Hatch, has been one of the players of the season, definitely one of the signings of the season. United at this stage, with about 20 minutes or so to go, doing enough, up 1-0. Here's Bailey Rule. Mancic with a little bit of space down that left-hand side if they could find him. They find Carlos de Oliveira, and Shunta Nakamura has a little bit of space to thread the needle. Tariq Maya rides the challenge, and he hits it straight into the feet of Adam Pavlicic, and that was a huge chance for Sydney United to make it 2-0. Patient build-up, and then once Nakamura was given some space, I beg your pardon, he thread the needle for Tariq Maya, who showed off his strength by riding the challenge of the Sydney defenders, but unable to put it either side of Pavlicic. The score remains 1-0, and that one nearly crept into the near post. That, without a doubt, is the best chance of the match since Nakamura's goal. Sydney FC get ready to make another double change. Ayuk Moore. Oh, there. He's brought down by Tariq Maya. Sydney FC get a chance on the edge of the box in an inviting position. Ayakmo there doing well to win his team a free kick. Sydney FC's final pass and delivery in these type of situations has been what's letting them down at the moment, because the football has been good. Let's see what they can do with this free kick. Two fresh substitutes waiting to come on as well. Can they claw their way back into the game? Floated to the back post by Quintal and over the head of everyone and out for a goal kick. And now they will get a chance to make that double change. It's going to be Dylan Rose and Will Kennedy to come on. And it looks like Marin France is making a double change now from Sydney FC, who have thrown on 4 substitutes as they look to get back into this game. Kalatz goes long. He hasn't been forced to make any clear-cut saves, and that's been the story of this game so far. Sydney FC, with the majority of the ball, playing good football, but unable to test the Sydney United goals too much. And then long balls like this have unlock their back line. Not that time, but it falls to De Oliveira, and his pass misplaced there for Marin France. I beg your pardon, he didn't come off. He's still on. And the ball's now there for Del, who tries to get it past Carlos De Oliveira. And a little bit too overzealous there from Carlos. It was Lockie Middleton who made way. And the FC now making 4 changes as they look to get a goal. They came from behind last week, 2 goals down, until conceding in the 89th minute. Both their wins this season have taken place here at Rockdale. And the loss would be cruel based on the 70 minutes we've seen so far, because they've played good, positive football. Now this one, you just see the experience of Sydney United start to kick in here. Winning the free kicks, taking the sting out of the game, and most importantly, just working those seconds off this clock. Pastelica goes long. Beautiful room service ball and touch from Bailey Rule, who threads it through. This would be a lovely goal. That was absolutely brilliant from Sydney United. What about the ball from Adrian Pastelica? Absolutely room service. Came down with a ribbon, and then the touch from Bailey Rule was perfect as well. And football is a cruel game, because Sydney FC have played good football, but find themselves down by 2-0. Aidan Milicevic gets the goal that he deserves. He has been wreaking havoc down that right-hand side. We've seen Sydney United do damage down the left this season with Matty Hatch and Carlos De Oliveira, but in Hatch's absence, the right side has stepped up, and the fullback and winger linking up there. They've both been brilliant. Bailey Rule deserved that assist, and Aidan Milicevic deserved that goal. And it's been a professional veterans performance from Sydney United, but game's not over yet. De Oliveira's getting back there, and they send it. Now going up against De Oliveira once again. Now manages to skip past him, but the low cross is gobbled up by Kalatz. And we've seen for both goals now, the long ball just undoing Sydney FC. Nakamura riding the challenge there of Dylan Rose. So plenty of time for Sydney FC to salvage something. This, of course, the same scoreline they came back from momentarily last week. Gonna have to do it once again, but this time even more so than last week. They are staring down the barrel of another defeat. Mariners and Sutherland Sharks, who are beneath them, both still have to play. Oh, and a heavy challenge there. And a straight red for Zachary De Jesus, and Sydney FC's night gets from bad to worse. It was a heavy, heavy challenge, and no arguments from Zachary De Jesus there. He goes straight off. He was already on a yellow card, but Kurt Ames dishes the red straight away. Sydney FC's mountain to climb just became Everest, because now they are 2 goals down and a man down as well. Most importantly, Christian Gonzalez, who's come on that left-hand side for Jordan Ivancic, is okay. And Sydney FC 2 goals down now. A man down as well as Jacare De Jesus. Fantastic young footballer. Just got it wrong there. Ugly challenge. And a straight red card. And Christian Gonzalez has a bit of space down that right-hand side now. He looks for the... I'm going to say that it was meant to be a cross, but it almost looked like a shot. Easy pickings there for Pavlicic. Mal. Sydney FC. They came back from 2 goals last week, but it's going to get even harder now. 2 goals and a man down. They've used 4 substitutes, so this is really it now. Next week they take on St. George City. Pressing hard, looking to salvage something. Bit of head tennis going on there as Entelmi tries to bring it down. He's hounded by 5 Sydney FC players. It's desperation time for Sydney FC. And well won by Christian Gonzalez. The fresh legs shook off that ugly tackle from De Jesus. Sydney United's number 2, and his team leads by 2 goals to nil. Christian Gonzalez, 7th year with Sydney United. Shunta Nakamura and Adam Milisevic's goal are the difference in this game. Sydney United lead by 2 goals to nil. Nakamura got it started, a goal after 8 minutes. Long ball, he then brought it down with a brilliant touch, and then the hit was even better. Sydney FC, though, didn't drop their heads. In fact, they started turning the screws. The football got better and better. Enjoyed a majority of the ball. Just that killer final pass, final shot, cross, has been what's let them down. And in the second half, they started even more positively. But once again, carbon copy of the first half. The long ball undoes the sky blue back line, and Adam Milisevic's second goal, plus Jacare De Jesus' red card, makes you think that this will be a mountain too tall to climb for Sydney FC. But we have seen teams come back from 2 goals down and a man down on this ground before. Apia, we're in a similar situation, down 2-0 and down a man against St. George FC, and a Nick Sullivan screamer salvaged the point from them. So Sydney FC going to have to channel something similar. And then it was a heavy touch initially, but challenge there on Will Kennedy gave away the free kick. And we've seen this all game, really. Sydney FC enjoying a majority of the ball, but Zoko Kalitz's team disciplined and unbreakable for a majority of this game. And you're seeing players like Carlos de Oliveira, Shunta Nakamura, Patrick Entelmi running their socks off, doing the dirty work, pressing like they are there. And Entelmi wins the ball, and now it's Nakamura. Patrick Entelmi gets the ball back. Patrick Entelmi! That shot a little bit more dangerous than the chance he had about 20 minutes ago, but once again it flashes over the crossbar. And Sydney FC, it's desperation time, that press. Nearly delivered a 3rd goal, Shunta and Entelmi. Not resting on their laurels, not getting comfortable on this 2-goal lead, and their manager wouldn't let them either because he's been barking all game. And Christian Gonzalez with a key tackle there on Mal. Chance of a foul throw, and well, you don't see that too much in the NPL. You see that more in the divisions of football that I play in, which is the definition of Sunday League. Good old-fashioned foul throw. Kurt Ems has officially done it all in this game. He's given a red card, and now a foul throw as Sydney FC pressing, but Pastelitza, who's long ball was absolute perfection, and it led to that 2nd goal. As I said before, this win here would lift Sydney United to 23 points, equal with Rockdale, but Rockdale have superior goal difference. Apia, Marconi and Blacktown filling out the rest of those final spots. And of course, our runaway leaders, 7 points clear. How good have Western Sydney been? Their Sky Blue rivals, though, find themselves towards the opposite end of the table. Came into this in 14th position. Only 2 wins of the season. And since that 8-0 loss, though, they had been trending upwards. The football was better. They were unlucky not to get a result last week, and the week before they did get a result against fellow relegation contenders Sutherland. But once again, and it's been a bit of a theme in 2024, you see so often with these academy teams playing the good football but punished by a veteran side like Sydney United. Speaking of veterans, here is Adrian Vastelitsa, who showed off what he can do with the ball at his feet for that second goal. Christian Gonzalez in no rush to take this throw. As the seconds tick away here at Rockdale. We're now into the final 10 minutes. Sydney United in cruise control, leading by 2-0. Their fans that have made the 35-minute trip from Adenza Park would be loving what they're seeing. Their team about to notch up their 3rd consecutive win, and this man has been in everything down the right-hand side. Bailey Rule as the man who he's played the pass to. Milicevic looking to find Patrick Entelmi, who unable to add so far to his 5 goals this season in the NPL. Has another 5 in the Australia Cup, which of course Sydney United made it through to the next round of that competition, and it was Entelmi who nearly got in the end of that one after a 4-1 win over Eskil Park. And there was a little bit of a cup set brewing in that midweek game. Sydney United went 1-0 up, and then the team from Campbelltown pulled it back at 1-1, but then Sydney United were way too good. Ended up winning 4-1. They turned it up a notch. They didn't want penalties. And Callahan's managed to stay onside, but Callis comes off his line, and Sydney United taking care of business. No need for a penalty shootout in their Australia Cup game. You don't want a penalty shootout because you saw at one of the games, one of the lights went off at Jellicoe Park. No issues with the lights going off here, though. They are shining bright. They're extra bright. As Sydney United get ready to make a double change. And it's going to be a man who did score midweek in the Australia Cup, getting ready to come on. Alessandro Lacalandra coming on for Patrick Entelmi, and Steven de Robillard coming on as well for Aidan Milicevic, who's been fantastic down the right-hand side for Sydney United. And I tell you what, that was a shout of a foul throw as well. And Lacalandra manages to pounce on the heavy pass, and he holds the ball up as well and plays it out wide for Steven de Robillard. This is his first touch. Does he get on the score sheet? No, he doesn't. It was cleared off the line. It was the 2 substitutes with their first touches nearly linking up there for a 3rd goal. And that would have been game, set, match. Sydney FC hanging on by a thread. Soko Khalid's getting nice and animated, even 2-0 up. Plenty of passion. Bailey Rule. Great ball, but headed away to Tariq Maya. Oh, here we go. Mal with a chance. Can he get past Oliver Khalid? Yes, he can. Can he find the back of the net? No, he cannot. It's out for a corner. It was brilliant last-ditch defending. And Sydney FC with a golden opportunity to get right back in the game. They take the corner quickly. And they float it back in, and this time Khalid's a bit more assured. It was Liam McGing who was dispossessed there, and they were in on goal. Goalkeeper rounded, but some brilliant last-ditch defending. Liam McGing, to his credit, he made the mistake, but then he got back there. And it remains 2-0. That would have set up a box office finish. About a minute after Sydney United nearly killed this game for good and made it 3-0, the 10 men of Sydney had their lifeline, and that just sums up Sydney FC's night so far. Ayuk Mao, the substitute, with a golden chance. He dispossessed Liam McGing, who's a little bit casual on the ball. He's been so rock solid in defence. Makes a rare mistake. Dowell gets around the goalkeeper, and then, to McGing's credit, the ex-Marconi man got back there, set it out for a corner. And you have a feeling, with minutes remaining here, that was Sydney FC's best chance to get back in the game. They're still pressing with plenty of energy, though. Here they are on the ball. You know they're not going to stop till the final second. Sydney United getting ready to make another change. It looks like it's going to be the ex-Sydney FC men, Dejan Bakadanakovsky, to come on. He's out for a goal kick. Now Sydney United will get to make that change as they look to shut up shop and seal another 3 points. And it's going to be Bailey Rule coming off too. A round of applause from the Sydney United fans and his manager. A huge shift from Sydney United's right back, and his assist for that second goal should have wrapped up the 3 points, but you never know in the New South Wales NPL, and it's an ex-Sydney FC player, Dejan Bakadanakovsky, coming on and thrown into the action straight away. Winning that header there, now it's De Oliveira. Skips back in around Kennedy and plays the ex-Sydney FC man, and here is Liam McGing, who made up for that error by getting back there with some last-ditch defending and preserving this 2-goal lead. Looks like it's going to be 4 minutes of added time. They look to go long. It's Lakalandra. He can't bring the ball in. He scored 2 goals midweek in the Oz Cup. Alessandro Lakalandra has been very good off the bench last week. Was one of the catalysts of that comeback. Quintal. Heavy tackle, the 2 number 10s. Diving in there, and it's waved on by the referee. Shunta Nakamura getting back there. Now, and Sydney FC's best chance to get back into this game moments ago. Skipping and looking to get around Christian Gonzalez. Sent back into the box. A little bit of head tennis going on now. France has been very good down that left-hand side. Loves cutting into his right foot, but not that time. Sydney United with plenty of space. Heavy pass, and invites Sydney FC back with one last chance to get into this game. It's Mel. Ayuk Mel goes low. Sydney United with everyone behind the ball right now, preserving this 2-goal lead. Sydney FC played the last 20 minutes or so with 10 men as well. But just like they have all game, still playing positive football. Still playing good football as well, but it looks like they're going to come up empty-handed once again in 2024. Lakalandra. Feeding off scraps at the moment as Sydney United, there's space out on the left-hand side if they can find it. Yes, they can. It's De Oliveira. Told to just drive to the corner. And Dow does well to get back there and win the ball. The pass is just a little bit too heavy. And that could be that. Back at Danakovsky, urged to keep it from his manager. Sydney United will go equal second with this win, showing the rest of the New South Wales NPL that they are the real deal. In 2024, they've shaken off their bad start to the season. 4 minutes of added time here at Rockdale. Sydney United just keeping the ball now, in no rush to do anything that will invite Sydney FC back into this game as the seconds tick away here at Rockdale. Inviting Sydney FC into the game though. A little bit sloppy in possession, and Callaghan looks to loop it over. Callatz, and a couple times there Sydney United just caught on the ball. Sydney FC unable to punish them and unable to set up a box office finish. Sydney United through to the next round of the Australia Cup, and next week they take on, that'll be a box office game in Western Sydney. They take on table toppers, the Western Sydney Wanderers, in a little Western Sydney derby as Christian Gonzalez pulls Quintal back and earns himself a spot in Kurt Ames's book. Sydney FC now taking it quickly. They've taken it off the mark. We are into 4 minutes of added time now. Sydney FC, a man down, 2 goals down. This is it. Mayuk Dow. Como's been very good down the left-hand side. Has also had his hands full dealing with Bailey Rule and Adam Milicevic. He's done so on a yellow card as well for a majority of the second half. And a majority of the game, I beg your pardon. And Sydney United win the free kick, which they decide to take quickly, and no one was ready for it. Mal. It's been a good battle, him and De Oliveira, since Mal's come on. Plenty of energy. Look to go long. And a bit too eager there from Lakalandra. His first touch nearly set up a goal for Stefan de Robillard. But so far, the 2 goals, one from Nakamura and one to Adam Milicevic, will be enough unless NEFC can pull out something incredible here in the final couple of minutes. It's not going to happen, though, by the looks of it. Sydney United will bring up their 3rd win of the season as Callas just sends that one out. Sydney FC, even a man down, pressing, forcing a couple errors from Sydney United when they've been on the ball, but unable to punish the away team. And Sydney United have been the complete opposite. They've made the most of their chances, particularly that long ball has been causing the Sky Blues problems, led to both goals, and that has been the difference. They go long, Sydney FC looking for Callaghan. Callatz takes the sting off that one, and the seconds continue to tick away here on this Friday night at Rockdale. And it is Sydney United who get their 3rd win in a row, which momentarily moves them equal second. Plenty of positives for Sydney FC to draw from this one. Once again, they played great football for large parts of this game, but as has been the theme for them in 2024, unable to land that killer blow and unable to get the results as well. Final score here at Rockdale: Sydney FC 0, Sydney United 2. My name's Adam Montenegros. On behalf of everyone here at Football New South Wales, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you soon.